I actually do love rubrics. Oh. Organizational tactics just get me off.
Now they're going to flag our video.
Sicktown, USA. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 1 of the show that has a name. We're gonna talk about D&D and tabletop, cool stuff, Pathfinder, new Pathfinder when it comes out. Those are the two that matter. So, I'm Teddi. That's my husband, Mac.
Yes, my name is Mac. Hi.
I'm Melissa. Hi.
And we're gonna talk to you about ourselves today. And it's going to be super informative. So I started playing D&D about, like 7 years ago. How long have I known you?
Yeah, that would have been about 7 years ago.
In college. Mac and I met in college. Mac's been my DM for 7 years. How long have you been playing?
I started playing Dungeons & Dragons when I was 15 in high school. I DM'd once before that when I was like 14, but that was a mess. No, but I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons as the Dungeon Master mostly for like 10 years-ish.
Yeah, you don't get to play very often, which is a bummer. What about you, Alyssa?
I played with you guys for a few months back in 2015, and then I started playing again, I don't know, whenever your birthday was. And I have not been playing very long.
Alyssa's a noob.
Yes.
I DM a game on Thursdays that we have here on our channel. It's called Homeless Space People. It's very dignified. I kind of run 2 sections of it. So one of them is at home, and it's 3 rogues in a spaceship who were never prepared. And the other one that we actually stream, Alyssa plays a half-orc, half-minotaur barbarian. Mac plays a sentient sword. And it's really kind of like a homebrew fucking everything Space Jammer game. There are a bunch of different planets.
Spelljammer, even.
Did I say that? Did I say Space Jammer?
You said Space Jammer.
I say Space Jammer every time.
Joe plays Bugs Bunny on the show.
I say Space Jammer every time. Do you want to talk about the difference between the 2 games?
Between like a home game and a stream game, or between like your 2 campaigns?
The 2 Homeless Space People games?
I feel like they feel very different.
They do feel very different. Okay. So with the space game at home, Space Jammer, the old Space Jammer at home. We have these. We're flying in space already, right? And there's kind of like this like note of ridiculousness to the universe. Like we fly on a ship that's like the hull is shaped like a cat sleeping on its back with its like hands behind its head. It's like lounging. But despite this kind of like weirdness to the universe that like everybody just kind of accepts and doesn't talk about, there's kind of a sense of hopelessness, a sense of like deep void in space that we like really dial into. We think is a lot of fun, and it is mostly about our characters responding to the universe and like kind of like how they respond to travel. Like we have those fun sections of the game where we like talk about like what we do. Like we like zoom in on a few scenes, like Dave's character Rune like tuning his violin, or Scuba accidentally blowing something up when she's like working on something. And then I haven't played very much in the show yet, but that one seems to be a lot more fast-paced for one, and that's kind of more like the nature of the players. Jerome and Sam trying to get in trouble just as hard as they can. But it's definitely also a much weirder look at the universe, because I would say that the home game is kind of Scuba seeing the universe for the first time, right? And it's kind of like these, like, you see this and like, oh, I've never seen an elf before. And you see the like it's like, oh, now I'm in space and this is amazing. This is like the first time I've ever seen this. And so that kind of like wide-eyed wonderment. Whereas with your game in the show, it just throws you in the deep end of how strange the universe can be. Like all these kind of like species have already kind of like met and made a minotaur orc and a fish person tiefling and all this stuff. I'm a sword.
No, yeah. When I put the world together, I don't remember where I heard about it, but I really like the idea of the races being able to mate with anything else. And it's a galaxy, and I wanted it to feel very lived in. I wanted it to feel like a galaxy. So there are a lot of playable races. Everything that are in all of the books, I bought the Legendary Bundle on D&D Beyond, which gives me access to everything. All of the Plane Shift books from Magic the Gathering that, Wizards of the Coast, did they make that?
Yeah.
That they put up. So, like the Avon and the Kendra from Amonkhet. I made my own Minotaur before they came out with one. Theirs is probably significantly more balanced. So anything can mate with anything else, and I have like a secondary and a primary like table that you like build your character out of. So it's very kind of it's a mess. And it can be very ridiculous, especially like if you compare it to any of Mac's games. He's been DMing for me for like 7 years, we said. Alyssa and I both play the main campaign that we play on Sundays, and Mac's games always have more of a kind of epic feel to them. Mine are all very... I want to use the word ridiculous because it's true, but...
They're so much fun.
Yeah, do you have any comparisons to draw there?
I mean, I don't think that they're that different. I mean, yes, obviously the worlds are completely different, but I love being in the ridiculousness of our Thursday game, and I mean, we're pretty ridiculous on Sunday too, but yes, it is a little bit more. I mean, it was like world-ending thing
true.
For our first like big quest.
You guys started.
We saved the world right off the bat.
Yeah,
We're
that was
at level like 3.
And the Sunday game is kind of insane. There are 9 players.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of maneuvering.
Well, that was a lot for me to jump into also, just like not really having any experience role playing, and then just being like, oh shit, I don't really have to do anything because there's like 5 other people doing things.
That's true.
So then, like...
A lot of us are very theatrical.
I do want to give everybody a chance to do stuff, because I'm always really impressed when Vith has scenes.
I've been trying to, but man, last week, I got real scared.
That was like one of your first like personal moments in the game, too.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was with Rika, and I don't know Rika very well, so, I mean, it was very nice. I loved doing it. There were things that I wish I would have said afterwards. I was thinking about it, but then I was like, oh well, I'll try to do it next time.
Yeah, no.
No, I always want to redo Sade's scenes after the fact. So when Alyssa first played D&D with us, it wasn't like even actual D&D. It was a sci-fi conglomerate that Mac threw together.
It was D&D though.
It was...
Wasn't it Pathfinder? I thought it was more Pathfinder rules.
Oh, it was Pathfinder back then.
Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah.
it was before
had,
5e came out.
It was, yeah. And it had like the Star Wars palette like pasted over it from like the Star Wars RPG and Mac, like kind of cobbled this system together that was Pathfinder, but like not really.
Because it was 3.5, so you could just like staple things together and usually it worked.
And so Alyssa's like first like playable character was...
I was a Jedi.
It was a Jedi.
It was a Scion warrior, though.
I was a fucking Jedi.
And so it was... I don't know. I feel like that game had a very different feel from like straight up 5e Dungeons and Dragons. We skipped the 4th edition. I think we are unnecessarily cruel to it. I feel like maybe it has merits, but we're not willing to.
I've come around to it as of recently. I'm probably not going to play it just because I'm already in 5e, and that's kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of like my addition now. But it was meant to be like played online with friends so that like, people could have better access to D&D groups and stuff, and so I really appreciated that because it's supposed to be simple for that reason.
No, yeah, I heard it was very accessible at the very least. I heard it was, I don't know, like mostly combat, and everyone was very special.
4th edition?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was mainly combat based, and for 5e they really tried to sink into like the RPG role playing side of things.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, 4E, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like in 5E that like, how do I say this? Okay, so people didn't like 4E for a few reasons, but one of the ones that I hear as an example is they called movement. They refer to it as like spaces, how many spaces you move rather than feet, and so people who like the role playing aspect didn't like losing the. I always forget this word when I need to use it.
Is it immersion? No.
No, that wasn't the word, but yeah, it broke broke their immersion, and I feel like we could work around that kind of thing. But
that does make it sound a little board gamey.
It was very board gamey.
So another kind of facet of D&D that's really just kind of only recently popped up is like the D&D streams. We don't stream. I use the term stream and record interchangeably. It's not correct, and don't do that. But like there's Critical Role, and there's Force Grey, and there's that one where they just kind of podcast about it. Adventure Zone?
The Adventure Zone, yeah.
Adventure Zone. So
they just kind of podcast about it.
That was a little reductive.
Yeah. It's like one of the biggest D&D podcasts.
It's a beautiful story.
It is.
Which is a perfect segue. I don't watch or listen to those. I don't really understand. I can't sit down and watch people play D&D. It's really just not my thing. But Mac and Alyssa are very much fans of those mediums and those formats and those people.
Okay, got the poster.
If you didn't notice. So has that had any sort of like effect on your playing or your DMing? Like, does...
For me, definitely, because I had no clue what I was doing when I first started playing with you all. And then after watching Critical Role, I was like, oh, okay, I think I might be able to try this. Because I wasn't really role-playing before, and now I'm trying to. I'm still not great at it.
You do live and die by the sword.
Yeah.
Alyssa's pumped for combat.
All my characters really like combat.
Alyssa loves to kill.
I don't know.
I'm an angry person.
I'm never sure what moments are in character and which things are more influenced by you.
When I am like really happy and excited, that is me. That is all me. Like
you didn't make a squeaking noise when Star
all the squeaky noises not in character.
And I called you on it, like that was not.
No,
Vith would never.
No, Vith is not emotional. She's very straight-faced, and I'm not good at doing that. I've been trying so hard to do it, but I can't because I'm so excited watching things and like hearing things.
In that touching scene with Startle,
all of that stuff was in character.
Okay, I liked it because it was like perfect because like it was like his kind of like robotic motion, blank face, and Startle asked you if you were okay, and you put your fingers together, flexed your arms, and snapped all of your fingers. And I was like, oh my god, like perfect.
Yes, no, that entire scene I tried to stay very in character because it was, I had to be.
I'm so excited for like, I don't know, getting to play D&D with you for like your starting stuff,
Yeah.
like, because I don't know, you're developing very quickly. You also know like a bunch of rules. You just know a bunch of rules that I forget.
I'm reading the books. I have access to the books, so I'm reading them.
This 9-person group's like tearing me apart because I used to just be able to like know orc stats off the top of my head. Now I don't know anything because I'm like, it's like I'm just like trying to like hurt a bunch of cats or something.
Oh, we're all just like so many different races.
We don't have a single human in the Sunday group.
No, we don't.
It's astounding.
That can't be true.
No one. It is true.
No
You
one's
say
a
that every
human.
time I say that, and no one points it out. No one in the world is like, "What is that group?"
They always point out the lizards, though.
Yeah, the lizards are weird where you guys are. They're in this place where air genasi and water genasi are like nobles usually, or they make up most of the noble class, and they had like some lizard folk, some turtle enlisted in their war before it ended because they like took over the islands that lizard folk and turtles lived on. And so having the genasi travel with the lizard people is a thing that I like having NPCs think about, and how they react to it is a really good shorthand for who they are as a person. I don't like that being the thing usually. It's like, oh, I don't like lizard people. It's like, okay, well, I don't know, it's kind of a boring bad guy. We have those in real life. We can just skip that usually, but...
Well, no, I did like when it was me, a lizard folk, and a dragonborn and a turtle walking around town trying to buy warm clothes, and we were just like really rejected. The guy was trying to like make us spend way too much money, and I was like, fuck you, I'm out.
Oh yeah, you're lizard adventurers. That's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah, depending on where you are, like, adventurers are kind of like, I don't know, you have to have proof of you being in a league, like, on your person, or like they think you're just a rat catcher.
Yeah, so the basis for the Sunday game is that we, it's this new kind of age of prosperity. A bunch of wars just ended, and so people are sectioning themselves off into, like, adventuring league. I keep staring at the microphone like it's, I don't know, going to speak to me.
It's shaped like a friend.
And so people are sectioning off into leagues and going off and killing monsters and finding treasure and, killing bandits. Lots of killing. Ruins. You go through ruins. Those are the big three.
Listing just things you do in D&D.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's not really a call for intrigue here. It feels this adventure feels to me like intrigue is over. And there is political scheming, and we do travel with two Genasi who are considered more esteemed than everyone else, but I feel like
I think it's more of a you guys thing than a in-the-game thing. I think you guys could be seizing a lot more than you are, but I don't want to tell you guys that.
Well, I think it's hard with the amount of people.
Yeah, splitting up scenes is really hard in this campaign. And I've played with a group of, like, 12 people before, DMing, but they were all just interested in, like, killing kobolds. Like, that was their whole thing. So 9 people who want to... most of you, most of the time, want to be a part of the world and have an effect on it is 100% harder than 12 people who just want to stab a dragon to death.
Well, and I feel like part of that is a lot of you have been playing for years. Like, this isn't, like, a new thing to most of the players, so just fighting isn't quite as interesting as it used to be, probably.
Yeah, no, that is true. Although, I don't know. Rika, who plays Startle, we should probably just go through that list really quick. Rika plays Startle, Tabaxi Druid. Shane plays Slime Tree. Tree Slime?
Slime Tree.
Slime Tree. Slime Tree, a Gith Druid. Gith Zerai. I play Sade, a Water Genasi Rogue. Rupam plays Aoli, an Air Genasi Sorcerer.
Yes.
Oh god, there's so many of us. Jarrell plays a Dragonborn Paladin. Rayton. Riley plays an Aasimar Paladin. Senna. There's so many of us. Dave plays a Turtle Barbarian. Crushell, my best friend. How could I?
I can't remember your best friend's name.
And Alyssa plays Vith, a lizard folk, not barbarian. Just a fighter. Not just a fighter.
And
No,
also...
fighter.
What did I miss?
I'm not going to tell you who you missed.
Kepley.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
I guess dead air isn't fun.
And Kepley plays a Fire Genasi, part of the Sassy Nazi squad. A cleric of the dragon's god, Bahamut. And so that's all of us. You won't remember it because I obviously can't. But if you ever need to reference that, don't. I forgot where I was going.
I bet
with
you
that
don't remember what you're talking about, yeah.
No, okay, I was talking about how Rika is very new to D&D also. She just started playing with us this year. And all of Rika's characters are not very combat oriented. That's not what she enjoys doing right off the bat, as most people do. I think like combat is like the easiest thing to do when you start playing D&D.
That's kind of like the entry point, yeah. Because before you know that you can do anything, you know what's on your paper.
Yeah, and that's usually combat things.
Yeah.
That's why I picked fighter, because it was like, sure, I can hit things. That's easy.
As someone who's been DMing for as long as you have, what do you note as growth? We can just talk about me and Alyssa, since talking about everyone would be stupid. But like, as opposed to where we started, as to where we are now, like, what do you think of that progression?
Okay. Okay, so progression. Like we've talked about this before, where like the character that you make at the time is kind of a reflection of something about you at the time, right? And that could be like more surface level, like your first character, Nimmer Del Madros, looked like you and wanted money. But I mean, also, like, I mean, you might make a different character depending on, like, what you want to accomplish in the game. Like, I made a character for talking, I made a character for fighting, right? Depending on what I want to do. But I would say that your characters now are a lot more intentionally flawed than your characters used to be. And that's, I don't know, I think that, I mean, you've never liked doing combat, per se, despite some, like, min-maxing.
We'll get this out of the way. I'm a dirty munchkin min-maxer. I like having the biggest, best numbers.
But also not using them.
So there's the disclaimer, y'all.
No, yeah, I don't know. I think that not knowing the rules has made the game harder for you. But I think that I like your characters now more than the ones in the past. Even though Nim's like my favorite, right? But I think that, I don't know. Alyssa has did 180 flipped between the first time I played with her and now, which was, so your character, it's a Jedi.
It's a Jedi.
It's a Jedi.
Was mostly just for killing, right?
Yeah, I honestly can't tell you if I really had conversations in that campaign at all.
Yeah,
I did not really talk.
The table dynamic was different because Kelly was really the only person that you knew.
Yes, I was
so
thinking
there was kind of like a
I
social
didn't know anyone
inhibitor.
except for Kelly, and she's the only reason I was there because she invited me.
Yeah, no, that probably didn't help. But then, like, now you came in recently, and we thought about, like, inviting you for years. I don't know why we didn't do it, because it's like, we should invite Alyssa. Alyssa's here.
I did live away for 2 years.
Yeah, for 2 years. We got back, yeah. No, yeah, but, I mean, obviously, Critical Role.
Yeah.
Right? Change some things. And that's how a lot of people get into it nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's such a great place to start, you know? Like, I don't know.
I will say, man, that sets a high standard, Critical Role does.
Yeah.
Because they are voice actors. And they are all great at improv. And,
yeah, and you don't have to be that.
No.
You know? Yeah.
It is a little scary. I think that's part of the reason why I don't want to watch it, because then I'm just going to be like, man, I suck. I've got to stop doing anything.
I don't think that they are... That's not true. Matt Mercer's just better at D&D than me. I am. I can't even say that about my boy. No, but you don't need all that to start anyway, right?
No, you don't. For me, I'm like, man, I wish I was better at this just because I see them. And I'm like, I'm doing okay for not having any acting skills and for, like, just starting out. Like,
yeah. We all need to accept that, like, we're not actors, but we can have fun, and you don't need to, like, be the best, right? Because you're just having fun with your friends.
That reminds me of a post I saw on Tumblr, I think you put it there, about how if you can be a fan of D&D and watch the shows and listen to the podcasts and not play, and that's still okay, because I think players maybe have this...
Yeah, I reblogged it, so I wish I knew
thing.
I wish I knew the name now that we brought up the post. I wish I knew the name of the person, but yeah, no, I don't want to. I'm gonna be honest, and I thought that it was dumb for a minute that people were like making characters and stuff and like not having adventures, right? But I saw that post and I was like, oh no, I'm a huge butthole. Everybody should be able to draw their characters and pick classes and species and stuff and just have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it was a tweet first by someone called The Homebrewed. And it says, in the words of one of our players, people who just watch live streams and wear merch are a part of the D&D community. Football fans don't play in the game, but the community wouldn't exist without the fans. D&D fans are just as valid as players. And I think that resurgence came about, or not resurgence, thing that happened in the first place, came about with things like Critical Role. There were more people just kind of watching and knowing about it than actively participating.
Yeah. And I don't know. I like doing both things. But even if you don't like watching or listening to stuff, those things being something that people are interested in gets us more stuff as players, right?
That's true. I think, yeah, no, D&D Beyond exists. I don't think it would, it is like burgeoning. Like it started off as this little kind of program, these like 4 guys in Kentucky or whatever, like we should make D&D better. And then, please don't quote me on that. But they connected with the people from Critical Role, and now they're kind of like an official sponsor, and it lent the website and the thing that they're trying to do a lot of legitimacy. It is, and note, we don't receive any sort of money or anything like that. It is just actually very good. I super recommend checking it out. They have this really cool like character sheet maker. You have to, okay, here's the catch, is you have to like buy the books. Even if you already have the physical books, you have to buy them online to have their searchable index and to be able to use them in their character builder, which I get it. I'm not mad. I'm a little mad, but I get it.
You can have access to the basic rulebook, though. The basic rulebook is free, and you can build your character off of that.
Oh, that's true.
But, I mean, there's not a lot available there.
Yeah, so they give you the classes, and they give you 1 subclass and 1 sub-race, I think, for each of the classes and races. So anyone, you can go out and start playing D&D for free right now.
Sorry.
No, I was looking at the U.
Okay.
I didn't think it would get hooked on that, and that was my bad.
No, the basic rule thing is a super important thing to note. Like, it's I feel like starting D&D can be really intimidating because all the books cost like $50, and you know, it's fun to get stuck in like little miniatures and map packs, and it does make things clear. Like, I have trouble playing if I can't see what's going on. I'm not good at theater of the mind, but you don't need any of that to get started, and it's not scary. If you and your friends have never started playing before, it's not scary to DM because no one knows anything. Like, when I started DMing, I was DMing for Mac, and I was DMing for our friends who have been players for Mac, and I'm like, they already know what a good story is. It's over for me.
Wow.
No, you are a very good DM. I think you are like the holy grail of DMs, having heard everyone else's like horror stories.
That disgusted look on his face.
I can list a few off the top of my head, but that's fine.
No, I mean, I've heard a lot of stories, and I've read a lot of stories online about DMs who like railroad the plot because either they really want it to happen or they don't know how to like improvise. Like, you're really good at rolling with our punches, and our punches are fucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and you tell really good stories. Your NPCs, whether or not you make them on the spot and whether or not you think they are, I think are all very fleshed out, and they feel like people that I care about. And the one that I didn't, like, there was this NPC years ago, I was playing as Nimrodel, who was an asshole, who was me. And there was this string of murders or something going on in the city, and I was, like, talking shit on this guard captain about how he like wasn't doing a good job, and I thought we had this like teasing rapport going on, but he killed himself, and I felt horrible, and I still think about it to this day and still feel bad about this fake person. Like, I feel legitimately awful.
Not usually something I like to put in my games anymore. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, I think you have to acknowledge things like that, like, because otherwise I feel like there's a certain sugarcoating you can't put there. Obviously, if anyone wants to start a game, you have to like sit your players down and talk about what you're comfortable with, like what amount of violence, what amount of gore, because you have to set in safety parameters, really, because like it should be fun.
No, yeah, a lot of RPG and stuff is about like consent and stuff, and there's a lot of cool stuff about that online, like RPGs and consent. That's a deep topic to delve into, but
no, yeah, and we should talk about that sometime. That would make for a good episode. Cut this out.
I was gonna say there's a bunch of stuff that we talk about that should probably be split up into a bunch of mini episodes.
No, yeah, the point of this was really to get introduce us and our personal experience, because I feel like we have like a little trifecta. Like, Mac DMs and watches Critical Role, and I play in DM, and Alyssa, who is still very new, watches these things that I just can't get into and is a player.
I will say one thing about your NPCs. You made me ship a couple so hard.
Oh, I love them so much. I want to like talk to you guys about them, what they're doing right now. They got matching tattoos. It's great. I can't. We'll wait.
No, so Sade has a sister, a human sister. Her name is Ryu, and we went on this big like adventure arc. And she has a pirate girlfriend. She's got a pirate girlfriend. A pirate girlfriend and this Corcado, an orc, and like they were our enemies for a while. It was very dramatic. But they just wanted to be together.
I still shipped them when they were our enemies.
Oh, man.
They were just so cute.
I can't wait to see us.
I felt really bad because I killed Ryu. She
like,
was just trying to
Alyssa
save her
killed
girlfriend.
my sister.
Oh god.
They're my top 5 NPCs right now, and I can't wait for them to come back. Yeah. My number 3 top NPC is that book that you're holding.
Yeah, I need to read more of that.
Alyssa's character Vith picked up this journal of this absolute incompetent, just the worst person. I feel so bad for him.
He was an adventurer. He lost an arm, I believe.
He was not very good at his
I
job.
don't think he lost an arm.
He lost something.
His dignity.
I think at one point he lost his arm. I
He
don't
was
know.
stabbed. I remember that for sure.
Okay, maybe I was thinking of that.
His hands got all bloody and raw when he tried to pull that sword out of the mountain. Yeah, there's a thing or two. He's had some times, and we'll continue to have them.
Yeah.
It's a big book.
So from here on out, episodes are going to be more focused. I want to talk about max NPCs. I always want to talk about max NPCs. We'll talk about features of D&D Beyond, which I just can't shut up about. You can ask anyone I know. They say, Teddi, shut up. I would like to talk about specific planets that I have, about my Space Jam game. So from here on, we just wanted to give you an introduction, who we are, what we do, why we do it. Not that we are anyone important, but
I'm pretty great.
you are pretty great. I married that guy.
I need to stop hitting the table with my ring.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about the audio.
So thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
I need to redo that whole thing.
We'll be super catchy at some point.
We won't be. It's going to be this bad the entire time, but we hope you guys like it, and we hope you guys continue to watch. You should check out our game. It's going to come out on Thursdays, probably. We play on Thursdays. Just little 2-hour episodes, bite-sized.
It's going to be like 20-minute episodes. We cut them.
Let me back this up.
We're going to cut, and we're going to go back to the goodbye part.
No, yeah, so check out our D&D game that we're going to put it out on Thursdays. They're going to be those little episodic, coming out little bite-sized bits. And this is going to happen on Fridays. So if you like it, cool. If you don't, also cool, I guess. Thanks for watching, and have a good evening.
Bye.